disability is not inability. In our Walk With Me show today, we are walking a journey with a lady who was born with disability, but she decided not to remain the way she is. She decided to start a home where she assists disabled kids, different kind of disabilities. And therefore, we are at Ruai, a home called Compassionate Hands for the Disabled Foundation. Join me as we walk the journey together. We met Anne at her home in Ruai Estate. She is a mother who wears many hats, that of a mother, a wife, a caregiver, and much more.
We were waiting for you.
She was born with physical disability, and she gives us her story of how her condition motivated her to open up a children's home to take care of kids living with disability.
All right.
Who is Anjeri?
Well, Anjeri, this lady you see here is a woman who loves God.
Yeah.
I'm born again. I'm a daughter, first of all. Let's start where it all began. I'm a daughter to the late George Oshira and Monica Wanjiko. I'm a sister to Tabitha Wangithi and Stephanie Wanjira, and of course other sister-in-laws and brothers-in-laws. I'm a wife to one Stephen Mutua and a mother of 3 children, biological children, Suleiman Prince and Victory Mukami Mutua. There is a Sifa Wanjiko Mutua, even Prince is Suleiman Prince Mutua. Yes.
That's nice.
Thank you. Well, being born, I was born with physical disability. My right side, there is what we call hemiparalysis on my right side. And from 0 to 8 years, I was not able to walk. How you see me walk is by grace of God and years of surgeries and rehabilitation, because my ability to walk came strongly around 9 years. I was born and raised in a village called Korogocho. Korogocho is one of the biggest slums in Kenya.
Yeah.
And I grew up knowing and feeling what it means to grow and live with disability, especially in a poor background. Because my mom, later on, my dad passed on in life, and my mom struggled with us. And being a single mother with a child with disability was difficult for her. But I thank God the combination of the poverty and being in the slums actually brought her an opportunity to be assisted by the good people who came on board in my life. And that is how I managed actually to go to the hospital and be rehabilitated. So my life is all you see, grace of God. And I have been blessed beyond my imagination by the good God. Yes.
That's true.
One thing, personally, I was born again very young and been taught in the ways of the Lord. And there's one thing that I always say. When you take care of the Lord's business, He will take care of you. And I am taught to grow in a Christian family, to understand things are done in a proper way. You just don't think about these things. A man will come and you need to walk down the aisle. And that is what happened, actually. That part of finding that I'm challenged, I don't know if it happened because we were friends, and he found me in this ministry young, and he has really walked with me in this journey. And I don't know, maybe it's because he knows the Lord. Because actually the challenge of disability is maybe from other people, but to us it not exists.
It doesn't exist.
All along he's been very supportive. He's that person you can see. I've seen him, to be honest, at one point become a cook, become a cleaner, a driver, a storekeeper. He's really tried to fit in where there was a gap. And sometimes God brings such people just to support and take you further. So those are the blessings that we count and say, well, I'm blessed, not lucky. Personally, I never decided to have a home. In radio, I told you I worked in Coach FM. During my community shows, you go to get out stories, I will interact with children with disability. Some sexually abused, some in situations that are unexplainable. And my conviction was if these children can be given a place which is safe, they can access education, therapy. So primarily I thought of a daycare. And God had a different agenda. Because in a week I had abandoned children, 11 of them.
In the daycare.
Yes. And you're trying to talk to the local authority and they tell you, wewe ndio uko na kipawa ya watoto, wewe msichana lea watoto. So at some point, you know, the home was registered involuntarily. And by God's grace, I managed to move out of Korogocho. I have walked from one point to another until eventually God gave us a piece of land where now we are on the road to put a permanent and a disability-friendly center for the children. First of all, I'm glad that you guys are here.
Yeah.
And this home that you're seeing in front of you is called Compassionate Hands for the Disabled. And it's a mercy home for children with special needs. We receive and accommodate children who've either been abandoned, orphaned, are rescued from abusive situation, children born of mentally challenged mothers, and from unstable family. So our aim is to give them a home and love and a path for rehabilitation so that one day they can overcome their limitations and be people who are independent and self-reliant.
When you talk of giving them love and a home, why did you come up with such kind of an idea of giving them love and a home?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, compassion, we say here, compassion heals wounded souls. And when you give somebody a chance to be the overcome, because that is what that happened to me. Born and raised with disability and having people who supported me to overcome the disability that I talk about today and being the kind of woman that I am, it just dawned on me that a replica should happen. And mine is to give back to the society and to reach out to those who are not perhaps lucky than like I was. And to make sure that one day they live to tell a story of hope and compassion. Categorically, we deal with 4 areas. We have children with cerebral palsy. We have children with mental handicap. We have children who have a physical handicap, and children with autism. So because naturally we don't discriminate what child we accommodate. When they are brought in either by the police station, the government offices, or the local chiefs, we are able just to give them hope and then determine, oh, she has cerebral palsy. Now we group them according to their needs and special needs.
Okay.
Well, the abandoned, we don't per se go to pick them from the streets, but they are brought in by the police stations, the children's department, chiefs who have, the local authority. They are able to rescue them and bring them to us.
Okay.
So that we don't have a lot of children. Otherwise it will be thousands. For us to be able to differentiate the different cases, we are able to take them through assessment, because it has to be a professional assessment. Maybe we'll ask with the government bodies like Kenya Institute of Special Education. They assist with assessment, and because first of all you need to diagnose what is it that we are dealing with, so that now you can offer the right help to the child. Well, for those children that remain here because of a need, maybe they also require to go through rehabilitation and therapy. So there are teachers who are special education teachers here. Okay. And there is a therapist and a nurse in charge. And again, we have a doctor on call who comes from Thika level 5. Okay. These are a bit medically challenged. So they will require, first of all, to walk a medical path and a long journey for rehabilitation. Yes. There are those children who are on lifelong drugs. Some are very epileptic, some are very hyper, and they will require some form of medical therapy. So we have to again see, as I said before, we assess what is this child coming to be assisted with. Yes. Children are at different levels of either habilitation or rehabilitation, where they need to learn these skills, either to sit, to stand, to feed themselves. So they don't move like a group, because each child is an individual. So you intervene to them individually. Today some are learning how to stand, others are learning how to walk, others are past that, so they are doing other life skill activities like table mats, beadwork, because they achieve these milestones differently. So you have to focus on an individual plan for every child. Yes. So they just finished their lunch. Ndio mwalimu anajaribu kumalizia. Na wengine wana relax kidogo.
Okay.
So most of them wanafaa ku relax after lunch.
Wakikula lunch. Okay. Sawa sawa. Wow. Wengine wamelala, wengine ndio wameketi. Wengine ako kwa computer.
Anaitwa Jackson.
Hi Jackson.
Jackson anataka kukuwa DJ.
That's nice. Okay. Na kuna mwingine ako kwa wheelchair pale.
Anaitwa Dixon. So pia amerelax, ako na muscular dystrophy. At one point alikuwa very walking. Then muscular dystrophy is in a waist muscles. Mpaka eventually mtoto anakuwa reduced to a wheelchair. But alikuwa very healthy boy.
Na huyo amepelekwa wapi?
Sasa anaenda kupelekwa kwa chinchio.
Okay. Huyo amefurahi.
Kimani.
Hey Kimani, my son.
Yeah, so kuna Kimani. Huyu anaitwa Jasmine. Mambo? Naona kuna joto, tutoe jacket. Ndio Jasmine.
Kimani amefurahi.
Kimani anakuanga wa furaha, tutoe. Usisikie joto sana, si ndio?
Kuna joto.
Categorically we will prefer a child who's below 12 years because they are still under their formative stage. You know, you want to bring them and help them, not just bring them and feed them. So there is also our need to see what is the change that you can bring to this. And you know, young minds are still accepting, you know, they are very accommodating and all that. Yes.
Now, what kind of a training do you offer?
Well, for training, we have different areas of interventions. There are those children who do formal education because they are not severely challenged. So they are integrated to the community school. Today, our highest is in Form 4, Joytown for the physically challenged. And our smallest just joined baby class the other day. So they either school in here or they go to external school. And when they go, they can go to what we call regular schools or normal, the way people call them.
The way people call it normal school.
Yes, and then special because of what they need in their lives.
Okay. We have seen part of the project that the Compassionate Home is doing, and it is quite an incredible job. And with time, we will still continue seeing more. So keep it, walk with me. We shall be right back. Welcome back, viewers. In Compassionate Hands of the Disabled, it is a home where children are rooted and grounded in a Christian way. As we can see, each and every day, they have a verse of the day. Therefore, stick with me as I take you around now so that we can identify different type of activities that are here. Like, for example, they do the farming. We need to see the kind of farming they do. So keep it here and we walk together. These one are a bit
Severe.
so you separate them?
Yes, because pia needs zao ni different.
When you talk of being severe, you mean that they are wild or water?
Some of them are totally bedridden, unlike these ones who have more skills. Some of them here can only kugeuzwa, hawezi jigeuza. Auntie Jane, mambo? Sorry. Habari zenu? Habari bwana Job? Yes, so hapa tuko na therapist Job.
Okay.
Na Auntie Jane. We have two mothers here. Sasa hawa wengi hawaongei. And na kuna wale wako a bit more challenged. So wanaendelea tu kusaidiwa na Job. Job is our therapist. So anakuwa na regular therapy sessions.
Job, how are you? I'm good. Yeah. Thank you.
Toka hapo. Toka hapo. Toka hapo. Toka hapo. Yes, Susan.
Like now one hour tunaweka chini 40 minutes. Wakikaa 1 hour tunarudisha chini.
Akikula unamweka chini.
Yeah.
Akikaa 45 minutes anarudi
kwa kiti.
Until what time?
Na kanga 1 hour.
Tena akikaa 1 hour unamrudisha tena chini.
Yeah.
What normally do you do ukiwapatia therapy? As in ni ku massage ama nini?
Tunafanya body massage. Kuna spins tunafunga. Tuko na hand spin na foot spin.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Kuna ile kuna vile unaweza mfanya sound therapy aongea ama
na tunajaribu kuwafanyia.
Yeah. That's nice. That's a good job. Keep up. Jerry hapo kuna mami.
Yes, so hapa kuna Susan.
Susan. How are you? Mama. Wow.
Little Susan. So she's an orphan. Mamake walihave accident naye akiwa mdogo, so she was brought in, walikuwa naishi na babake ya wawili. So the chief akaona ni risky, juu babake pia alikuwa msick. So that's how I just took her out of other cases.
Okay.
And I have Jerry there and Grace.
Jerry and Grace are sleeping now.
Them they are a bit more challenged. Even their sitting is not like this one. So they sit wanageuzwa.
Okay. Ini PlayStation ama ni nini?
Nafaa kuko ya place kama toy.
Okay.
Kina kibali ndio wanaingia hapo ndani.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah. There are many challenges at the home based on the fact that the society has not yet embraced children with disability. That is why I say the number will keep on growing. Even today you will realize there's a call. There's a kamtoto mahali, you're like, we are not accepting anymore. But the greatest of all is meeting their basic needs. That is medication, diapers, and even having caregivers that will stick along. Because you see, this is a child who requires 24-hour clock service. So for us to get dedicated workers, they will also need some payment. So let's say that is why I'm talking about achieving economic empowerment of the home.
They have started already kunisalimia. Nini yo?
Ni wewe umetengeneza hiyo Dickson? Ni wewe? Kweli.
Anatengeneza?
Ni yeye. Kamau. Hawa ndio prefect leo. Yeah, so Jackson. Mambo. Kuna mtu kapotea hapo.
Jackson.
Hebu tengeneza ni. Jackson is really bright also. He's in class 1. Kutoka join shule ya kujua namba nyingine isipokuwa number 1.
Huyu sasa?
Yes. He's very bright. And all of them are bright. He is also a bright boy. This is Sanchez, the one I was telling who is
Sanchez, the football.
No,
where is the football guy?
Arnold. I don't know. Arnold akokona gani? Oh, the other class. And this is Samuel, now the pastor.
Oh, Samuel. How are you? How is the going? Yeah. Wow, ako form 4.
Yes. Amekuwa out of school. Kuna test amekuwa kinini akigo. Kuna issue blood yake imeblock, anafaa kugo surgery. So kuna clinic back in Kijabi. So they determine when they will book him a surgery.
Anasomea wapi?
Joyton for the physically challenged. But he can speak. He's here.
By the way.
Am I speaking for him?
In form 4. Ungependa kuwa nini ukimaliza? Sorry? Mtangazaji. Wow. That's nice. Pursue the dream. Surely come true.
Amen.
Wow. Sasa ni nini unashona? Table mat. Let me have a look at it. Ni umefanya hii kazi yote? Hebu show me how to do it. Wow. Nishika wapi? Hebu nionyeshe. Huko hapa? Hapa hivi. Nifanye nini? Hebu niweke. Nichukue niweke hapa. Then nivurute. Ni kazi nyingi.
Maria Mogezi kwa?
No, I need a training now in this. Umejua?
Inafaa itoke tu kwa sababu ikikatika huenda ikatoka vibaya.
Na hiyo umeshona for how long?
Hii nayo sasa ni kama 3 days.
Yote. Hey, that's nice.
Tunataka time, na tunataka concentration.
Oh. Leo naye anashona na beats anaitwa nani?
Ni wewe unaongeleshwa my friend.
Anaitwa Jackson. Na leo unashona na beats. Hebu weka nione. Leo umeshona hii?
Nimetengeneza key holder.
Unatengeneza nini? Wow, that's nice. Okay. Teacher, how are you? How is the feeling with the babies? Wow, that's nice.
Well, for us to take the workers in, I normally say they are brought in by the hand of God. Because for you to get someone who will love this child who they did not give birth to, a child who has different complications, this must be God ordained and orchestrated. So despite the fact some of them have come to look for a job, some actually came in as volunteers, and now when you are able to give them something small, it is actually out of the expectations. But I thank God because they were brought in by God, otherwise it would be so difficult for me. There's another one here. Mr. Brian.
Brian, how are you?
This is the gifted Brian. Shule anaendanga St. Lucie for the blind. Na anafanyanga beadwork. Na ni mwimbaji sana. Wako na band ya watu watatu, Brian na Tonito.
Where is the band? What a voice.
Nimeona imani yako. Uchinje Bwana, nimeona imani yako. Acha mtoto Abrahamu alichukua kuni zake, wakamwita mwana Isaka, wakaenda mpaka Injili iliyoitwa Moria kwa sadaka.
Well, here is what you see, super talent. Like I have one Arnold. He's a great footballer. Actually, if you bring a football, you know it is not for anyone else unless you brought two. You bring for Arnold and the children because he's this football, and you can see if he's nurtured, he's a talent who can actually go beyond with these special Olympics. He could really qualify for such. I have great musicians, I have great artists. They can actually paint, and you're like, did I just take a photo of myself? So they are gifted differently, and even academically, because we have the gifted and talented. They are top scorers here. You will see beyond what they are struggling. I have one called Sanchez. The other day he performed well. He's quite a challenge in terms of visual, and he refused to go to a special school for the visual impaired. So he struggled with normal, and now he's in Mumbuni Boys, a Form 1. He just joined, then Corona happened. But how he's performed is what we called A material. So he will be here dissecting the computers. He will be here trying to wonder, what is that camera doing? So I see them, they have a great future and great talents. So survival is quite assured. It is a walk. To be honest, the 12 years I've seen our faith in God grow, because from nothing to what we are today, God has touched people in different capacities. I've seen individuals come and donate. I've seen churches. I've seen youth groups and even women groups in their different capacity. And today what we see is all about donations. There is nothing we bought or we can say we worked for. And some have listened to us, giving suggestions of what we think is our primary need or priority of needs. And through their own small ways they have come in, be it a construction, be it the sustainable project. And still we also continue to urge the well-wishers and people of goodwill to continue understanding where we are at now. And again, we say that in our project, we have managed to achieve some of the 60% infrastructure of what we think is a disability-friendly center. So there is a 40% that God, together with the well-wishers, we will continue to achieve. Mothers, It is not by coincidence or by mistake that God gave you that child. God entrusts heavy duties to those who are more able to handle it. Congratulations, because he knew you can handle that. I want to encourage you, like my mother, I don't know where she got that encouragement, that if she nurtured this girl can be something. And today God has brought that to happen. Your child is a champion in waiting. They just need someone to stand with them, to have education, to have basic needs. That is education, food, shelter. And again, just stand and fight for them. If you accept that child, the society will accept that child. You are the measure of love that the society will give that child. And most of the people with special needs, if they are given the opportunity, they become stars. There are many people who've excelled, being able differently, so your child can do it. If somebody believed in that child, then the world will believe in that child.